Hello everyone. Today, inshallah, we will present Qoyod system and the settings, how to start use Qoyod through doing your settings, and how to add users, also to have a brief about the custom fields. Also, how to add a new location as branches or as warehouses. Also, how to add products. Then we will discuss the chart of account, manual journal entries, and the opening balances. Then we will discuss the project and tasks, how to add project, and how can you get benefit from the projects. Also, we will discuss the purchases, how to add vendors, how to add purchase order and convert it to invoice or bill, and how to pay the bill. Also for the sales, how to add a new customer and how to add a new quotation and convert it to invoice. And if there is any return or any mistake regarding the invoice, or you have registered already an E-Invoice by Zatka, and as we know that the delete is not allowed in E-Invoice regulations, so we will know how to deal with the credit note after that. So we will start now. First of all, here we have the dashboard. The dashboard is showing me the payment snapshot about the invoices and bills. It shows me how much the amount outstanding, as we see that the outstanding amount is 69,838. The outstanding amount, that means it's not yet paid by the customers and it's still as unpaid, but the overdue, it exceeds the due date that it's allowed to the customer to pay. As we know that we have in invoices, whenever we add a new invoice, we have issue date, also we have the due date. For example, I create the due date in 1 week. If I change the payment term after, for example, 1 week or 17 days, if this date has been now, or this date of today is 13 and he's not yet paid, so it will be an outstanding amount under overdue amount. Also for the bill as well. For the revenue and expenses, it show me the monthly revenue and expense by a year, so it give me as a monthly basis. As we see that the revenue here, it's around 42,000 and the expenses is 16,000, and in February we have revenue only with 4,000 riyal, and the expense is more than the revenue amount. In customers, as we see that we have the payment due, the invoice is paid, and the invoice is raised in January. It's the same, it's on monthly basis. And the top 5 customers with outstanding payment and the top 5 vendors with outstanding payment. The last thing we have in the dashboard is the activity log. The activity log show me the last 5 users has been update the system. As we see that we have a delete asset classification, updated customer, created new fixed asset, updated user. So any update happen in the system, it will show me in activity log, as well as that we have in report, activity report. It will give you a detailed information about every all the activities happen in the system. As we see now that we have the activity report, it shows me the transaction by a day and hour, how many hours has been spent in Qoyod, and how many transactions happened. Also, I can filter by the document. For example, I want to check all the contacts. So whenever I click on contact, I will see all the transaction happen, either create or update or delete. I can choose the transaction type from here. Also, I can find out with my users in the system. Also, I can just filter with a date, for example, from 1st of February to date of today. So I will see that I have only 3 transactions for the contact in February. So this will give me more details. Whenever anything has been changed in the system, we can know who has changed this data or system. Now we will go to the general setting. Whenever we have been create a new organization in Qoyod, we can upload our logo through choose file here. Whenever we click choose file, so we can choose the logo and change the size from this. Also, then we will click on upload image. We can fill the organization name, organization email, and the phone number. Fill the address, the city, the address if we are registered in E-Invoice system, so it should be the same what it's in certificate or tax certificate. Also, we will fill the country, the currency, and the tax number as per E-Invoice requirements. So if the organization has been registered in ZATCA E-Invoice requirement, or they are registered in VAT, so it's mandatory to register in E-Invoice system. Whenever the organization registered in the E-Invoice system, so they must to fill the address and the tax number. Account settings, we have the account closure date. The account closure date, if we don't want to edit anything before, for example, 31st of December 2021. So here we will fill the date. It's not for the revenue and expenses to be closed under returned earning, but or profit and loss. It's only to make sure that no one of our user will add anything in November or December. Whenever we choose 31st of December, then any data before this, it will not be accepted to add in Qoyod. So this is the benefit of the account closure date. But the physical year start, it's regarding the start of the financial year. So it will close the account, which is revenue and expenses, and to be as in zero opening balance and trial balance. Then we have the general printing setting. We can modify the margin in the top and the bottom by defining here by millimeters, and choose the status types allowed to be printed, for example, only approved, or allowed awaiting for approval, or cancelled. Also, if we want to show the logo and report, we can activate this button. The invoice settings. In the invoice setting, we have 2 types of the invoice style or template. We have the default template, and we have the new template or new design. In the new design, we can design our own invoice by our format if we want, but the default template, it will be restricted a little bit. Also, before activating the Saudi E-Invoice, which will be here in the general settings, it should be fill the invoice settings prefix number and the serial or sequence number, as it is here in the code setting. We have the prefix number and the sequence number. So it should be here in the invoice setting first, then activate the Saudi invoice. So if it's in invoice settings, so we will write the prefix numbers as QID referred to Qoyod. QT, it's for quotation. We will do for invoice the same as INV for invoice, for example. And the sequence number, we can start with 40 or 50 if we have already issued invoice in previous system or in any program before. So we will fill it here in invoice setting. Then we will activate the Saudi invoice. Also here, as we see that we have the notes and the terms and condition, we can write any notes we wanna to issue it as unified invoice notes and terms condition for all the customers. For example, that the refund in 3 days, and we will add the IBAN number. For the terms and condition, we can write, for example, for the payment terms here. Here we have an option for automatic email whenever we activate the automatic email. So any new invoice issued, it will send by email to the customer email. Also, we can send a reminder by pay the amount, for example, before 2 days of the due date. We can specify it here. Okay, we will see the Open Designer, a brief about the opening, the new designer. As we see here, we have a format with English and Arabic, and specify the reference of the invoice, description, issue date, due date, supply date, location, employee name, and we can add something extra like PO number from the client. We will generate it from the custom field, and creating a date. Here we have the creating date. Sometimes it's different by the issue date. So here we have to write the creating date. Also, this code, we will find it here. Whenever we click on more, we will find the organization name, logo, address, tax number, organization email, and phone, which is here billed from, and the contact details like name, secondary name, tax number, billing number, and billing address and shipping address and billed to. For the document details, which is here in the reference of the invoice and description, VAT, value, due amount, which is here in the last table. Also, we can add the terms and condition and the note, which is here, and we can add also the QR code under the invoice down. Also, here we have the payment method and the payment amount. We can add it before the due amount, for example, to specify the payment from which account and received in which how much has been received. And we have a detailed webinar specifying how to design the new invoice. We can share the link with you after the webinar. The line item, which is here, line unit price, quantity, unit type, VAT amount, VAT percentage, and the discount and the total after this, VAT. Also here the product details about the product English name, Arabic name, SKU if we wanna to add it, and product description. We can add the barcode as well and the category name. The day and time, this is for the creating date, day and time, as we say before. And for the custom fields, which we will explain it shortly. Here we will find the PO number from the client, or I wanna to print the region or branch or the tax group number. We can add it through the custom fields for the customer, because until now it's not available in Qoyod. After that, we can apply the same information in bill and purchase order, receipt, credit note, and the debit note. For everyone has its own details. After that, we will add a new location through products. The location, which is like branches or warehouses, we can add it through locations. We have unlimited location can be added in Qoyod. For example, I have Taif, Jubail, Al Ahsa, Jeddah, Riyadh, Medina, Khubar branch, Jeddah. If we take an example, for example, Taif, we will find the English name, the Arabic name, inventory asset account, which all the account under inventory type, and the address details from the address, city and the region, zip code and the country. After specifying all location, we can start to add a new roles and new users and specify them to multiple or one location only. Whenever we go to the settings, then users, we will find in the top, which is manage role. Through manage role, we can add a new role like sales department, top management, design department, technical department. For every role, they have their own authorities. For example, we will do an example for the sales department. We will click on a new role, then add here sales department. Then the permission, for example, we have sales, we wanna, the user can see the products. We can give him also to see the categories, unit types, if you wanna read and write the customer to add a new customer, if you wanna add, give them the authority to delete the customer as well. For example, the invoices, we will give him only read and write, but the delete to be for the sales manager. Quotation as well, we can give him read and write. Even if we give the user availability or ability to delete, if you registered an e-invoice, it's not available or not allowed to delete any invoice or credit note. So here we will specify the credit note, invoices, quotation, and delete, as we say before, that it's not allowed for the e-invoice system, but it's allowed for who has not registered an e-invoice. Here we have an option for modify tax and unit price. If we don't want the user to change the tax or the unit price, so we will take the authorities from here. Then we have the report, for example, account statement. For example, he will print a new or account statement for a specific customer, AR by customer, age open invoices, quotation. Also, we have new customer trend line, product sales, by chart and the trend line, number of invoices trend line, and we have here ability to give him for the invoice tax report and the credit tax report as well in details. Then we have, for example, also for the settings, if he has authority to add in the setting, we will specify it here, then click on save. So the role will be saved with the specific authorities we have been supported to him. Then we will go back to the users. We will add a new user. The first name, for example, we have Fahad Munir. We will add the contact number, the email ID, role. We will select the role as sales department, location. For example, he will work in Dammam and Khobar. Allowed PayPal account, which is has been as checked in the chart of account, like chart cash on hand for Fahad, or and Saab Bank, Al Inma Bank, or Al Rajhi Bank. So we can select multiple accounts. Maximum discount percentage, he can give maximum discount with 15% only. And if he's POS user, so we will activate this button, then click on save for that user. The user has been saved. Whenever we click on the view, we can see all the permission there. Also, the user details for the sales department, Dammam, Khobar. Whenever also we click on edit for the for Fahad, we can again, give him the POS user. Whenever he activates his account in Qoyod, and for example, I have created the Qoyod or your organization in Qoyod, but I'm not the super admin, or I will give him to my manager to be as super admin. Whenever we click on view, we can give him the, or make him as super admin by clicking on make super admin by view. Is it clear? Do you have any question regarding users? Okay, after that we have the custom fields. The custom fields which will give me ability to customize fields to organize my organization documentation and have a better insight of my revenue and expenses. I can specify the custom fields for customer, vendors, invoices and quotation, orders and bills, products, and the manual journal entries. Whenever we select a new model like customer, the customer, we can specify if he's a local customer or international customer by Boolean. And if we have the group tax number, we will specify the field type as text. Field type also, if he's cash or in by credit, we can specify it here. So whenever we click on a new customer, we will find the below data like additional information if he's local customer or he has a group tax number. So we will add it from here by creating this in the custom fields. Also in invoices and quotation, we can get benefit from this with the also the orders and bill by specifying the cost center. For example, I wanna know by the employee payment, so I will add it as a field name. Also for example, adding branch or region, or adding as PO number from the client as we discussed it before in designing the new design or invoice template. So the custom field will give me benefit to specify my cost center or any additional information I want to add it through Qoyod. That's it from the setting. We will go to accounting and have a brief about the chart of account. The chart of account, we have 5 main levels, which is asset, liabilities, equity. Here we will filter by level 1 only. So it's asset, liability, equity, revenue, and expenses. And Qoyod, we support 7 levels. Like we see here, asset, current assets, cash on hand. Under the cash on hand, we have the details of the employee, Muhammad, Ahmed, Ali, Hashim, with all details, and we give him that it's accept payment, what we discussed before in the users allowed payable. If it's accept payment, so it will reflect there. Also, if it's accept payment, we cannot make a sub account under this account. Not like the cash on hand, which is not accepting payment and it's not used before. It's like organize account. So we can add a new or create sub account. So here we have also the cash in bank. It's not accepting payment, Al-Inma Bank as well. But we have multiple accounts under Al-Inma Bank, 001, 2, 3, 4, or we have we will make it end with the last 4 digits as Saudi national account. So we can create a new account together to see the effect. The account, if there is no any transaction linked to that, so we can delete the account as we as I'm doing now. I'm deleting the account, and if it has transaction, so we can archive the account. Now we will add a new account under cash in bank. So I will click here on create sub account. We will write Saudi National Bank. The description we can add for receipt only. Accept payment, we will not let it as accept payment because we will create a sub account under Saudi National Bank. I will click here on submit. So I submit the account. We will take an example that I have been at Saudi National Bank 001 and 002 under cash and bank, not under Saudi National Bank. And I wanna move it to under the Saudi National Bank. So we will write Saudi National Bank and add 001, accept payments and click on submit. Okay, we have created Saudi National Bank 001. As we see, it's in the same level with the Saudi National Bank. Whenever we click on view of the cash in bank and see the chart, we will find that it's in the same level. And I want to move Saudi National Bank under the Saudi National Bank. What shall I do? What shall I do? It's going to the chart of account and click on move icon and select the branch or the main account. What is the main account? It's Saudi National Bank. Okay, here we have the account type. Whenever the account is in level 4 and above, level 4, 5, 6, 7, we cannot choose the bank or the account type. But if it's in level 3, we can choose the account type as we want. We will I will explain it now. Here we have level 1, level 2, level 3. Until level 3 we can choose the type, but in the level 4 it should be equal or the same of the level 3. So if the cash on hand Muhammad under cash on hand, so it should be the same type, which is non-bank cash and equivalent. And cash and bank, we choose that it's bank account. So all the accounts under the cash and bank should be bank account as well. Okay, sometimes we want to change small changes for the names and the code which is there. We will select here on quick edit and select on the account, so I can change the account name, and click on save so that I can get benefit by changing in quick transactions. We will again click on a quick edit to finish the quick edit. Also here we have the import account. If you want to import the account by Excel, so we will click on import account, download the Excel. I want to add three accounts in the desktop. Then I will open the chart of account again to have an example to add that account. For example, we have prepaid rent for factory. So here we will find we have prepaid rent. Under prepaid rent, we have prepaid rent for office and prepaid rent for branch. So we will add prepaid rent for factory under the prepaid rent. The prepaid rent in level 4, so we will add a new account in level 5. So we will start now. This prepaid rent has code 110501. Okay, so this is the code. We can copy the code to know the new account will be under which account. As we see here, we have the code, English name, Arabic name, level, parent account code, account type, description, accept payments. So in the code, we will add the code 110501, and the new code will be the same, but adding 03, because we have 01 and 02, so this one will be 03. Type which level it will be? because the main account in level 4, so this one will be in level 5. So we will write here 5 and write the Arabic name and the English name. Prepaid print for factory. Account type, we will select the account type as prepaid expenses and others. How to choose the account type, because it's a level 5, should be the same of the account type of the main account. So we select the same account type. Description, it's optional to add. Accept payments, it's not accepting payments. After that, we will add two factories under the prepaid rent for factory by selecting the code to be the parent code here, and add the same code by adding 01 and here 02. So I will have two accounts under prepaid rent for factory. Same, and we'll add, for example, Rawabi district and Nuzha district. We will add the same in Arabic name. I will copy it and add the district name. It will be in level 6, so we will write 6. And the parent code, it will be the same because all of them under prepaid rent for factory. And if we have, for example, sections in Rawabi district, so it will be in level 7, we can add it and make this code as parent code. Account type, all of them will be prepaid expenses and others. And all of them not accepting payment. We will delete any extra rows has any arrows, delete, save, and we will go back to chart of account and click on import again. And choose the file and import. It will be imported shortly. If there is no any errors, it will be imported successfully. This is the account which is prepaid rent. Whenever we update or refresh the page, we will find that the prepaid rent for factory has been added successfully. After that, we will go to manual journal entry. In the manual journal entry, we can create a new manual journal entry by specifying the account and the debit and credit. For example, the amount Muhammad paid to Hashim from his petty cash or cash on hand. So Hashim has been received 100 riyal from Muhammad. So we make it equal 100, date of today, and here sending money from Muhammad to Hashim. So this is debit and credit, and we can add some comments if you want. And the additional information which is in project and task and the custom fields. Specifying project if you want. Select the city, branch if you want, or employee. We will click on save. Now it has been saved successfully. We can print the journal. So this is the journal has been created by me. Also, whenever we view the journal and we want to add some attachment, we can attach it from here, or I want to mention one of my users to attach the document, we will click on plus icon, then click on the user and tell him to please attach the required document. Click on send. So they will receive the comments here in the comments icon in the top of the page, and we will find the please attach the requirement document for the manual journal entry transaction number 2064. Okay. Then we have the opening balance. If we want to add opening balances for the users, by the user, sorry, for accounts or product, customer, vendors, we have accounts. From the account, we select the date. I'm always prefer to select the last date of the opening balance. We will choose 31st of December 2021. And the description, we can add some description if we want. And the opening balance account, to choose opening a balance. The account name, for example, we have cash on hand Muhammad, for example, 20 riyal. We have prepaid rent or bank, Rajh Bank 22002 300 riyal or 400. So we will click on add more and click on submit, or we can upload the account opening balance. If we want to upload it by Excel, we can select on upload, then download the Excel format from here and save or download. It will be as below. Here we have the account code, the opening balance. So we will add the account code and write how much the opening balance for that account code, and then again to upload it in the system here to choose the date and description, opening balance account, and the attachment. Same as this, we will do it for the customer and vendors, and we will see a brief about the product as well. Here in the accounting also, we have the easy entries. If you are not accountant and do not know what is the debit and credit, you can get benefit by the easy entry to do transfer money or add capital or depreciation. For example, we have add capital. You will choose the owner a capital account, for example, a capital or add on capital. Capital form, it was by cash. Capital value 100,000. And select the date and description and attachment. That's it from accounting module. By briefly, we will go to product. In product, we have 5 types of product. We have product, recipe, raw materials, service, and expenses. The product which we can, it can be purchased and sold and be part of a recipe, can be tracked or not tracked. Tracked, it means stored as inventory item or no. For example, speaker or book or t-shirt, all of them are products. We can make it like, or even spices, if you want to add it as product, so we can add it as product. Also for a recipe, the recipe which is allows to produce recipes using multiple products and raw materials. Recipes are sold as one product, but automatically adjust the inventory for all related products. So whenever we create a new production, so it will decrease the raw materials and product and specify and produce it as recipe. So the details of the recipe will be only visible to the organization, but not to the customer. For the raw materials, which will be a part of the recipe, and it will be only purchased and stored or not stored, and cannot be sold to the customers. And it's, as we said, that it will be used in producing recipes. For the service, like service for consultation or for case study, any service we can provide, so it will be under services. For the expenses like electricity bill or water bill, all of them we can add it as expenses if we want to define the expense and then create it by bill. We will take an example. You can give me an example for product to apply it here. Do you have any example to add? Okay, we have an example like blue shirt medium. Blue shirt medium in Arabic and English. We will choose the product category under, for example, clothes. So we can add a new category named with clothes. Then choose the unit type as piece. Taxes 15%. Barcode, we can add the barcode or generate random barcode. The taxes, as we said before, it's 15%. The unit conversion, we can add the unit as dozen. The dozen equal 12 pieces and the boxes equal 30 pieces. Unit purchase price for the dozen, it's 1,440. And for box, which is have 30 pieces, it's 3,600. Also, if it's including VAT, so we will click that it's including VAT. Unit selling price, we will also add it for this new unit. And down we have if it's an inventory item or no. Yes, it's inventory item. Selling the product with 200 Riyal under sales account sales. And if it's including VAT, so we will activate this button. And the product buying price 120, purchase account under cost of goods sold. So it's whenever we purchase it, it will go to the inventory accounts. Then whenever we sell this product, so it will affect the cost of goods sold. And if it's by including VAT, so we will activate this button. In the custom field, we have the product location in warehouse, category type, and issuing date of this product and time. So we have time picker and we have date to be chosen. Then click on save. So this is how to add a new product. For the recipe, we can add a new recipe. What's the difference here? And that we can add the recipe details, like it's contain of wood, 6 square meter of wood, 50 piece of nail, and 1 handle only. And also as we see that there is no purchase price because it will be based on the average cost in the production. For the raw materials, it will be only purchased, cannot be sold, like egg or flour. We have it here, inventory item, and we have the buying price, purchase account, and we do not have any data about selling price. Regarding services that it will not be stored for sure. It will be like fit out services, software developing service, case study. It will be only shown in sales. It will not be shown in purchases or tracked item. Here we have case study under consultation, category, unit type by hour, taxes 15% tax, selling price 200 under sales account. And if it's a purchase including VAT, so we will activate that it's including VAT. Regarding expense, as we said that it's like electricity bill, we will specify the account under utilities expenses. So whenever we purchase or create a bill for electricity bill, it will affect the utility service. And this amount is as default and can be changed while creating a new bill. How to add a new quantity for the product? It's by adding an opening balance from the accounting, as we mentioned before, or by adding a new bill. Here we have opening balance and manual journal entry, opening balance, products, and we will choose one product. For example, we have gray shirt here. So we will select gray shirt, a date of 31st of December 2021. Here we will add opening balances in the opening balance account and a main branch, gray shirt. Average value, 50 real, we have 30 pieces. So it will be multiplied the 30 by 50, it will give me the total amount. And we can also to upload opening balance for product if we want, as we see that the inventory has been increased by 1,500 and the opening balance has been increased with 1,500, and in the end of the period the opening balance should be 0 by adding all the details of the opening balance. So if we go again to the product and update, we will find that the gray shirt has been added with the 30 pieces, which is added by opening balance. We select here on inspect the location. We will find that it has been added with the opening balance or manual journal entry. Now we will move to purchase. We have vendors. To add a new vendor, click on a new vendor and add all its data. For example, here we have future art. The future art, we have add the vendor name, primary contact number, primary email ID, organization name, website, and the tax number. Here we have additional information if it's international or customer or cash, or it's dealing with the credit, and vendor sequence if we want to add the vendor sequence. Or we can add it by adding a new purchase order. Whenever we click on new purchase order, we can add a new vendor by click on add to add a new vendor. So the purchase order, it's a document to have an agreement with the quantity and the amount of purchasing, agreed amount to purchase the quantity, or to have some delivery conditions. So all of this will be added in purchase order. We will select the issue date, expiry date, location, payment terms. What's the expiry will be after 16 days, so it will be changed. Location, for example, in Khobar, we will add a new product like, for example, gray shirt. Also change the vendor to Zara, for example. And the quantity, we can select the quantity dozen or boxes. For example, we will add 1 dozen of gray shirts, so the unit price has been changed. If it's inclusive, so we will click on inclusive and add additional information if you want, like project or branch or city. Then click on save and approve. Now, if we go to the product, we will see that the product has been added in Khobar, and we have added before in main branch. Here, it's still in main branch. We will convert the purchase order to invoice. Click on convert bill. Now it's converting to bill with the same details and the additional information as well. We can add it to XY project again. Click on save up and approve for the bill with the same details, and we will see that it's approved. Now, if we refresh the page, we will find that it has been added with 12 pieces from to Khobar with 43 Riyal, because the 50 Riyal was inclusive of VAT. Now, if you want to move some product from main branch to Khobar, the average value will be changed. Why? Because the average cost is 50 and Khobar 43. We will move 5 pieces from main branch to Khobar by clicking on products page on inventory transfer. Click on new inventory transfer from main branch to Khobar. Temporary transfer account, inventory, description, move. Product is gray shirt, 5 pieces. So if we will move 5 pieces, the location in main branch will be 25 and location in Khobar will be 17. Click on send and receive to receive the quantity. Now, if we update the product detail, we will find that the average cost, it was 43 and it's now 45 by moving 5 pieces with 50 Riyal to Khobar. For the stock take, we can do the stock take weekly or monthly or annually to specifying the quantity what we have, to choose allocation dammam, increased quantity under other revenue, decreased quantity under damaged stock. Here we will add a stock take week 41, for example. So we will add the quantities here. For example, iPhone 11. Also, we have shampoo. We have 0 of shampoo and 2 pieces of iPhone. The actual quantity was 1, and in shampoo, the actual quantity was 20% or 30 pieces. So it will be decreased or going in damaged stock with 3,444, and the shampoo, the average 19 multiplied by 30 will be as other revenue. So we will click on save and approve. And if we see that, we will find that it has been with 570 for the shampoo has been added to the other revenue. And we can check the report of the journal report of the stock take, what has been done by us. We will go to the sales. To add a new customer, click on customers and create a new customer. Or we can take an example. For example, for OP establishment, we have contact name, email, tax number, shipping address, and bill address. We can copy it if it's the same and add the additional information. Group tax number, it was this number. Click on save. Now we have saved the customer details. Then we will add a new quotation, create a new quote. Customer, for example, CTW, issue date with today, expiry date also. For example, we will do a quotation for consultation or case study. For 5 hours. 5 hours multiplied by 200, it will be 1,000, not inclusive with the VAT, so it will be 1,150. Also, we can add it to some product or custom fields. Then we will convert it to invoice by clicking on convert the invoice with the same details, with the same customer, with the same issue date. We can find here receipt if we wanted to receive the amount. To date of today, we receive the full amount from the customer and click on save and approve. If we have all the receipts, so we can allocate it here. Received on cash on hand of Ali. Now the status has been changed to paid. If it's not paid, it will be as approved. If it's approved or waiting for approval, if you don't have the authority to approve the invoices. We will add a new invoice without doing the quotation. For example, for West End Furniture, we have chair, for example. School wood chair, we have 3 pieces, and we have black table with 2 pieces. So now we have we will sell 3 pieces of school wood chair and 2 black table without saving the receipt or specifying the receipt. If we create a new customer receipt for the customer West Elm, we can allocate it to the invoice. So here we will select that we receive it by cash on hand of Ahmed, date of today, with amount 400. Here we have invoice. We can allocate dynamically if we want, or we will do it from allocating the payment. Now it's not allocated. We will go back to the invoices and click on payment. Here we have use old receipt. As we see that we have receipt with 139 from previous customer receipt. So we will allocate it and it's partially paid. And again, we will click on payment, use old receipt, and we can specify the full amount with 400 riyal. As we see that there is balance with 265. If we click on view and the customer want to return 1 table from IKEA and one school chair, and the view page of the invoice, we will find here return invoice. Click on it. With the same details, we will click here, the quantity will be one. And here, if there is discount, we will create the discount and click on save and approve. Now it's saved, it's unused. As we know that the invoice wasn't fully paid, so we can agree between me and the customer, instead of paying the cash, the invoice or main invoice, it's not fully paid. So you can allocate that in that invoice. As we see here, the credit note is, the amount is more than the credit note, the amount is more than the invoice. So we will click here on allocate credit note. Invoice will be 143. The balance is 265.25. So here we will allocate the credit note, and still there is balance not closed. I have to pay to the customer the 22 riyal. So we will click here on return money. account, date, and the amount, and click on save. Now I have transferred that 22 real or pay it by cash to the customer, and now the credit note has been used. Okay, sometimes I create an invoice, for example, for City W, and it's paid, but it was for the wrong customer, and even the receipt, it was for the wrong customer. What shall I do? What shall you do to go to the customer receipt first and delete the payment you have allocated to that invoice? So we will click here on delete the receipt. Then we will update. We will find the invoice. Now it's not paid yet, and with the e-invoice we cannot delete that invoice. So we will do one thing. We can click on view and click on return invoice, as we have been done. It has been done before, or click here on manage credit note, create credit note for CTW. Click on the original invoice, which is 142, this one. Okay, then with the same details, we will click on save and approve. Then click on allocate credit note with the same invoice, close it with the same amount. So it will be stop the effect of that invoice to like plus minus. So we stop, or there is no revenue from or VAT amount and liability to Zatka. So now it's shown as paid, but how it's paid? By allocated by credit note, as we see. And then we will take the same invoice and click on clone and choose the new customer or the correct customer. For example, it was for Anush. So this is the correct customer with the same details, and click on save and approve. Then we will do the payment as usual from customer receipt, or from here we find that there is multiple receipt not being allocated. So we will allocate it by open it, and now it's partially paid whenever he pay. So we will click on payment and receive the amount to the Al-Inma Bank date of today with the fully amount to close the invoice. To change the language from Arabic to English, here we have a row to change it to click on Arabic. So whenever we click on Arabic, all of them will change to Arabic language. That's it from the sales. What we have next, the project and task, we will take it as brief, then see the most important report, and we will be finish, inshallah. We will click on project to add a new project as cost center. If we want to create it as cost center, we can add a new product and write the information for reference, name, due on, status, and if it's private, so click on the user who can see the data. Okay. We can delete one user if we do not want to add it, and attach the contract, for example, for the project, and so on. Then by viewing the project, we will find the below. We will find project dashboard by how many tasks there, a description, created by whom, the total income, total expenses for all years, and the financial. We will find the profit and loss for that location, balance sheet for that location, and the commercial document linked with that project. If we go to the invoice, we'll find the invoices only, and for the debit note as well, and all document as well. Here we will find manage users if we want to add new users to see that project, so we will add his name or her name, and it will be added. Also, we will see that the tasks is list. We can change it or take it from checked to in progress, for example, or done. So it has been checked, and the list, we can drag it and take it after done if we want, as we done here. If there is archived list or task, so we will click on archive text or task, and we can add a new task from here, or edit or archive the task from the options there. The task can be linked to a project and can be not linked like a standalone without linking to any project. The task, we can click on user to be managed by him, and if it's linked to a project, so anyone can see the project, can see the task. It will not be as private if it's linked to the project. So here we have manage project to add it to a project if you want to add to project, and whenever we create add it or link it to project, we cannot manage the users to for that task. Anyone can see the project, can see the users as well. The last thing, we have the report like income statement, balance sheet, trial balance. We have seen the journal report. We will see the account statement and the tax return form, and we have seen the activity report. We can see also the product location summary. The income statement, as you can see by seeing the total amount of the income statement, whenever you click on advanced analysis, so you can filter by project or by locations. For example, click on only Khobar, so we will see income statement for Khobar only. We can click on multiple account location like Khobar, Dammam, and main branch. So we will see the total of Khobar and Dammam and the main branch. For the dimension, we can have a comparison between the project, for example, to click on XY and ABC project. So we will see how much the income statement for the XY project and ABC project as well. Also, we can only choose the dimension without the filter. So it will give me the total of that project and that income statement. Also, you can click on inspect to inspect the amount by customer, vendor, location, product, project, employees, and the document with all details there. Same as this, we can do it for balance sheet to filter by levels, and you can compare it by 3-4 period, by the previous week, for example. So you can see the balance sheet in 4 weeks, and you can filter by account type only to see the comparison with the account type, or only level 1 to see the total amount there. For the trial balance, you can click on show customer, vendor, employee, and fixed asset breakdown. Here we have customers like accounts receivable. If you want to see details of accounts receivable, we will show the breakdown, so we will know all the client under the account receivable. We cannot add account receivable as account in chart of account. Instead of that, you will add it as customer under account receivable. Also, for the vendors as well in liability, we will find it under accounts payable. Also, you can filter or choose only one account to see, for example, only to see accounts receivable. So you can see only one account as shown here, or you can filter the trial balance by project or customer or product, for example, product, and click on that product and see trial balance of that product only. For the account statement, if we want to see account statement for a customer, we will click on accounts receivable, filter by customer, click on that customer. Then click on filter. So as we see that we are, the amount or the closing balance is 14,000 to be paid by the customer CTW. And if we wanna find out by vendor, so we will choose accounts payable, click on filter by vendor, and click on that vendor, Zara. So this is the account statement between me and Zara. The tax return form we can filter by monthly or quarterly basis, and choose the quarter and the year, and you will see the tax return form for the quarter number 1 for the year 2022 with all details. Location report, we can select multiple location or all location to see the quantity, and you can specify one day to see how much the quantity on that date. So it will be changed based on the date has been chosen here, and you can export it by Excel or PDF. I hope that the webinar is clear and has been answered of all your questions. If you have any questions or comments, you can tell us now. Thank you so much for your attendance. Okay, what about the recipe product? Yes, we have forgot to talk about the recipe product production. Through whenever we purchase the raw materials through purchases, we will go to the product and select on click on new production, then select the date, location, for example Khobar or Dammam, we can select on Dammam. Temporary production account, we will click on inventory under production or inventory, and description producing chairs, for example, or furniture. We will click on add more. We what you have to do only to choose the account or the recipe to produce. If we have enough quantity, so it can be produced. But if we don't have enough quantity of the raw materials, it will show quantity not available. So I select here one quantity only, click on start, and then we can complete it later by click on complete. So it will be completed and produced. So whenever we go to that product of designed wood chair view, we will find that wood has been decreased by 2, nail decreased by 30 pieces, and it has been added with or designed wood chair with 1 piece only. So whenever we click on designed wood chair, we will find the piece and the Dammam has been added with 1 piece by production, as we see, with the average value 110 riyal. Do you have any question? How can we edit journal voucher for date and amount? to change the account code, amount, or date in journal voucher. Okay, if it's manual journal entry, you can edit it by click on edit. But if it's for products, it cannot be edited. But for accounts or transfer money, you can edit the, for example, here we have transfer money to deposit in the bank. So you can change the account from here. But if you want to change the account code of this account name through chart of accounts, you can click on edit and change the account code from here. Click on edit and change the account code if you don't want this code, or by quick edit in the chart of account to change the code and the account name. Is it clear, Akbar? Also, the date can be changed from here for the manual journal entry. Thank you so much for your attendance. Have a nice day and goodbye.